The Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose to the Houston Texans in what was probably a very fun game if you're not a Buccaneers fan. So us Buccaneers fans are not so thrilled. I'm sure Texans fans very excited as, obviously the big storyline, the CJ Stroud, box score performance, which I have a video already uploaded about that game. And Stroud was amazing in this game. And to some of these plays, you just kind of have to tip your cap and say, you know what, some good stuff by CJ Stroud. Not all of it. Not all of it. There was, without a doubt, some Mike Smith level defenses. That's one for the people who became Bucs fans with Brady to Google. But this was really a disastrous day by Todd Bowles. And I'm going to start there. Again, if you're new here, I cover the entire NFL, but I am a Bucs fan. This is very much a Buccaneers fan reaction. So that's kind of what you're listening to, what you're watching here. But there was tons of play. I mean, the reality is, I wouldn't say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, really, with the exception of turnovers, got a stop in this game. Every single time they were able to stop the Texans, it was because the Texans were beating themselves. Stroud missed a handful of throws early on. I mean, the guy went 30 for 42. I would probably guess that like 5 or 6 of those incompletions were just on him missing a throw, and then he was perfect from there on out, pretty much. And then there were a few drops in there as well. So Houston, their offense, honestly, this was a disappointing day in a sense. They could have had even more yards. I mean, this was really a disaster. And the final drive is, to me, the obvious one. If they're just playing a zone coverage scheme with a wide open gap down the field to let Houston get the ball inside the 20-yard line. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking there. Houston has to play the sidelines. You know what they're doing. And that's just really a baffling play call. Like, I've kind of, in some ways, defended Todd Bowles. I almost called him Lovie Smith, probably because I'm used to complaining about Lovie Smith's soft zone coverage. I've defended Todd Bowles in the past. I have, because I've always said I don't like the way he runs a team, but he's a very good defensive play caller. If this is what he's doing, I think this would be a great time to fire him. I really do. I've been saying he should have been fired since the middle of last season. I'm not, it's another example. Like, this is a clear-cut thing of this just can't happen. This can't happen. Your offense scores 37 points. You have to win this game the way you've built this team. And there are some excuses. There are for Todd Bowles. For one thing, Houston's really good, right? Got to give them credit. Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, all those guys are really good. Nico Collins didn't even have a big day, but he's really good, right? There are weapons here. I don't know if I would say Noah Brown's really good, but he played really good in this game at the very least. There are weapons for Houston. It's totally reasonable and totally fair to say all of those things. I think that that's a real thing. Zion McCollum having to come in and play, part of me wants to say that's an excuse, right? Because Jamel Dean gets hurt early on. Zion McCollum clearly can't cover anybody one-on-one, so they're kind of stuck playing this zone coverage because what else can you do? Which Stroud was able to pick apart. Every time they went to man, Zion McCollum was giving someone, 5 yards down the field. At the same time, though, it's like you knew Sean Murphy-Bunting was a free agent and was walking. You could have addressed that. You chose not to. You went into the season with only 2 outside corners. One of them is going to get hurt at some point. This is going to happen. So I don't know if you put that on Jason Light or you put that on Bowles. That was a factor. That definitely hurt. At the end of the day, though, you can't be giving up 470 passing yards to a rookie quarterback. I don't care how good he is. I don't care if it's Patrick Mahomes. You can't be doing that. If you do that, when you're a defensive-minded coach and you're a defensive-minded team, it just can't happen. Mayfield was great. I mean, Mayfield was fantastic in this game, I thought. Again, couple plays you could look at here and there that weren't good, but for the most part, I mean, he was the reason this was a football game. This would have been a blowout if it wasn't for him. The running game still isn't good. It's still not a good running game, including that loss of 8 Chase Edmonds rush, which I don't know why Chase Edmonds is getting key carries in that situation. I don't know what they're doing there. Definitely some positives in this game. And in fact, there's an entire positive swing I could take if I wanted to here for Tampa Bay, which is, listen, defense, it was injured. Defense is fluky. CJ Stroud was amazing. Don't worry about it too much. The defense will bounce back. Defense is just fluky in general. And if the defense does bounce back, well, now you have an offense again. And there are some legitimate positives to take away from this offense. Like, they were beating quarters coverage in this game. Like, they found ways to force the Texans to not just have their two safeties stay back every single play. On that big Mike Evans play, a safety stepped in. There were two safeties back, but he stepped in on the play. Evans was able to get down to field and get nearly a long touchdown, was down to 1. Like, that's a positive. For sure, that's a positive. There, we saw Rachaad White kind of in the receiving game make a lot of things happen. And again, Mayfield was great in this game. Everyone kind of talked about, man, why did the Buccaneers choose Mayfield? At this point, I'm sure Baker's thinking, why did I choose the Buccaneers, right? I mean, he was the guy who was keeping him in it in this one. So Mayfield was definitely a positive. The offense was really good. It's hard to really have any negatives about this offense, but the defense was, again, it was a disaster, and CJ Stroud deserves credit. But some of these plays, like Devin White, it's a 3rd and 14, and not being able to, just get over and try to make a tackle on a screen pass, which gave him a first down, which I don't believe they scored on that drive anyway, but still, like, that's a mistake you got to fix. On one of the touchdown drives, Levante David getting stiff-armed by Dalton Schultz, like, listen, you won't find a bigger Levante David fan than me out there, but at the same time, it's like, that can't happen. There were just a lot of issues. So, yeah, where am I at with this team right now? I think they're dead. I don't think this is a playoff team. I think that in many ways, maybe this is an overreaction. I almost feel like just, at this point, get rid of Todd Bowles and just say, okay, what do we have for the future? Can Baker Mayfield be a Geno Smith or not? We'll find out. This isn't working the way that it's supposed to be working. Like, this is not a playoff caliber team. There is some potential just because of how bad the division is that they can sneak in and win the division and be out first round, get blown out by Dallas. Like, I don't know if that's a great situation, right? Okay, cool. You get to win and get blown out by Dallas. Congratulations. We did that last year. I'll take it over being mediocre. I'll take it over not making the playoffs, but it's still not an ideal situation. In my opinion. So I'm still going to root for my team to win. That's just how I view things. I'm still going to root for my team to win football games. I did say that if the Buccaneers lose this, they're probably dead. I still stand by that. I think the way the rest of the division played makes me feel a little bit better about just the opportunity of us getting to the playoffs. The Falcons lost to the Vikings without Kirk Cousins in this game. We also saw the Saints beat the Bears, but not look great while doing it. So, Tampa Bay, you play the Titans next week. That's a must-win game, and even if you win it, you're still going to be looking at probably 4-6 because you play San Francisco after that. You're going to have to go on a run. The nice thing is the schedule is legitimately easier after San Francisco. You play Indianapolis, you play Carolina, you play Atlanta, Green Bay, Jacksonville, who's good, then the Saints and the Panthers. There legitimately are, basically from that stretch down, all winnable games with the exception of the Jaguars, which feels like they should lose. And by winnable, I mean the spread will be like a field goal-ish. So it's not over. They're not dead. And they did look good offensively. So there are some positive takeaways. And CJ Stroud is amazing. Again, check out the video where I talked about it. CJ Stroud had him as my number one quarterback. I feel pretty good about that. But just because he was great doesn't mean you can't also criticize Tampa Bay, and I think there's plenty of reasons to criticize Tampa Bay, in my opinion. But and specifically to play calling defensively. I don't know. You can't be giving up that soft zone at the end there. You just can't. You can't make that happen. So yeah, the right team won. All the credit in the world to Houston. They were incredible. They're a really good team. I think they're a better chance they make the playoffs than Tampa Bay right now. So that's how I view it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.